anything you need for Halloween, this is Haunted School. And today guys, this video is going to be on something I haven't done in a long time. And that is a video on what we need to see at ASDA for this year, Halloween 2021. So to start this video off, as we all know, ASDA aren't partners with Walmart anymore, and in some circumstances we might fear that it might affect their Halloween range, or anything seasonal in that matter. But hopefully that's not going to be the case. I have full hope in them that they are going to outdo themselves yet again for another year, as the demand for Halloween animatronics and props is definitely rising. It has risen over these past couple of years. So to help me out with making predictions for this video, I have asked a few of my friends and fellow subscribers what they'd like to see at ASDA this year. I've got to say, I came up with some pretty damn amazing ideas that I can definitely agree on. So first off, I'm going to be talking about theming. So theming is one of the key factors of ASDA's Halloween stuff, as they always do a cracking job with what they do on the aisles, the packaging, and this was also suggested by Daniel Hodson, which I'll show you his comment right now, which he has made a really good point about this. So we have had the same Happy Halloween theme for quite a long time now, since 2017, which they have got two themes. They've got the newer 2019 version of the theme that's on like the food packaging and everything, and also on the aisles last year, and sadly the 2017 theme is actually still on the boxes. So in my opinion, they just need to, instead of making their mind up on which theme to use, they just need to come up with an entirely new theme. And I'm sure if we see a new theme, it'd definitely be very good, because ASDA's designers have came up with some amazing themes in the past, such as the ASDA family, the 2009 to 2010 theme, and the Big Shop of Horrors, which I'm sure we'd love to see a throwback to them, or just have something entirely new, which wouldn't be a problem at all. I'd really like to see what we get. So the next section of this video is store displays. This is one of my ideas, and it's something that I remember very fondly of my childhood, of how ASDA used to set up their stores every year, and it is nearly every store that did a full-on setup, but whereas now it's only the big ASDA living stores that do the good setups. And I believe the last year that we actually seen these old style displays was 2012, which was nearly a decade ago. I'll probably show you some pictures as I'm speaking of how it all used to look. But one of my favourite things about, especially how they used to do it before 2010, was how they did this dark canopy above the aisle, which when you walk through it just gave some amazing haunted house vibes, and it made you feel like you're actually going into a haunted house. Whereas now they just put a bit of bunting up above the aisles, and just as the sign to show that it's a Halloween aisle. And I think even at one point we had this massive inflatable archway at my local store, which was at the 2010 era. And they also did an amazing job in advertising the display as well with their theme. They literally put it everywhere. They put it outside stores, on billboards, and even when you go in, you can see the aisle from afar that you know that it's the Halloween aisle, which is something I'd really love to see brought back, and also which I'm sure a lot of more diehard fans would love to see as well. So moving on to small animated props, and let's get on to that. Each year, from 2005 to 2011, we've had a massive range of smaller props, and there's always been a lot to choose from. And just these past couple of years, we've I guess we could say we've been quite limited to what we can get. There's always been a life size and about 3 smaller animated props, plus maybe a projector. Which, don't get me wrong, all the things that they get, the smaller animated props and everything, is all very good, but just before we move on to the next section, a lot of the props before 2010 were made by Gemmy, and a lot of them were magic power as well, which we still do get magic power, but just a lot of us nowadays want to see Gemmy items, so it'd be really cool if we can make that happen. But I do understand if not, because Gemmy don't really distribute to the UK anyway, so that is only with Walmart's help that we got the ASDA Butler and Wonder Witch. And if it's not Gemmy, you can still get stuff off Magic Power, because They make a lot of good props nowadays. Also Techie and Seasonal Visions, I believe they also get props off them in the UK, which we've seen a few Seasonal Visions things at ASDA before, and who knows, maybe even the life size or some of the smaller props could be made by them as well. One final thing for smaller props is reboots of the past few years, which we have seen quite a few reboots actually over the past couple of years, such as the 2019 Skeleton Butler, the Severed Hand Door Knocker, and the Haunted Camera, which has Phantom Face Ripper's voice, which is really cool. And also the Heads Up doll, which is sort of a remake of the Heads Up Frankenstein that we have seen. Which one of the best things about reboots is that not all of us actually got the original versions back in the day, such as new collectors, even original collectors such as myself, who've seen them but never managed to get them, and they are quite hard to find on the secondary market, so, or at least for smaller ones, so hopefully this can happen. Also a section about reboots I just want to mention that was suggested by Daniel Hodson and Otherworldly Owl. So moving on to the next section is the medium-sized props, which these are large hanging props this counts for, and also standing 3-foot props. So to start off, these props are always big sellers because everyone wants a large prop every year to make their display stand out from the others, and in all honesty not everyone can afford life sizes, so these definitely make good props at reasonable prices, which I'd love to see a lot of the newer ones by Seasonal Visions come out that obviously aren't too scary for ASDA to sell, or maybe some of the Pan Asian Creations ones would be cool too. It'd also be really cool if we've seen some reboots of some of the older 3-foot props such as Phantom Face Ripper, Boris the Butler and Wilhelmina Witch, because those are all really memorable characters, and especially Wilhelmina Witch, she's very hard to find for sale today, and she'd definitely make a good 3-foot prop to go alongside the the so-called life size this year if we get one. Just something like that, or just a unique character in general would be really cool to see. And also onto large hanging props, I'd love to see a lot of ones that are in style of the prisoners, which over the past decade we have seen props like the Man in Chains and also Convict Colin and the Convict Clown as well in 2014, which those are all very good props, very popular amongst fans, and very memorable large hanging props. And also the Floating Ghosts are actually still getting made today by Sunstar, which we have seen one get sold by the Range in 2017. The Bride one that was sold at TJ Hughes in 2019 also be very cool to see. So the next section of this video is Inflatables, which last year, after 6 years, believe it or not, it has been the return of the Inflatables, the 5, because I do remember them being sold in 2015 as well. But it just really goes to show that ASDA are listening to fan demand, and Inflatables do really play a big factor in outdoor displays and making your house stand out. I definitely know this from myself, from doing it at Christmas and everything. I do have a few Halloween ones as well, which these things are ones that stand out a lot, and it's just great seeing these back. One thing I do have to say though, I do hope we see ones that run on mains again, which I believe last year's run on batteries apparently. I do believe a lot of the older inflatables such as the Frankenstein Archway and a lot of the 2014 ones were made by Jemmy. It should be great to see them back, and obviously as I've said, if Jemmy can't be a thing for ASDA this year, I'd love to see ones that similar to what the Range are selling, are supplied by Premier Decorations, such as the Headless Horseman one and the Giant Pumpkin one, which I'll show right here. And it'd just be very cool to see a larger range of inflatables, so just like how it was in 2014, to make a return. So ever since 2016, ASDA have finally listened to our demand of wanting a big prop or life size to be sold, and they've granted our wishes and sold a life-size prop ever since, which was really great of them to do. As I do remember they stopped the life-size prop thing in 2011, which I did believe it shocked quite a lot of us that they stopped them, as we're having such a good run with the Butlers and Wonder the Witch. And in 2016, when the preview dropped, we were all very surprised and happy with the new Reaper, and he still is my up there with my favourite ASDA life sizes. And also other memorable ones such as the Skeleton Pirate and the Scarecrow that were sold last year, as they are all things that we haven't seen much of here in the UK, and definitely something that makes us look forward to when ASDA release their stuff. Another thing I love so much about the ASDA life sizes is that they're all amazing quality and also kept at a reasonable price, which makes ASDA stand out a lot from other stores in the UK for the great prices and everything. So this year, much like other years, we're definitely expecting something that we haven't seen before, which ASDA always tend to do, which is why my followers or subscribers have made suggestions on what life sizes we want to see this year. I have whittled it down to 5 possible outcomes, which with them being a Frankenstein, a vampire, a mummy, clown or a witch. So the reason I have chosen the first 3 is because the classic monsters is just so underrated these days, and we don't really see much Frankenstein, vampire or mummy props sold, with the exception of the Costco vampire. And even the best versions of them props, such as the older ones that are made by Jenny, such as the Brain Monster and the Count Vigor, they are only sold in the US, so we really can't get our hands on them over here in the UK without paying way over the odds for shipping and everything. So the classic monsters thing was suggested by Ghostly Ghoul and Otherworldly Owl, which I'll show their comments now. This one is a clown, which was suggested by the Halloween and Christmas fan. So we can all agree these past few years that clown props have definitely grown very popular, such as fan favourites sold at Spirit, such as the Towering Clown and Uncle Charlie and Hugs the Clown, which those props are just very amazing clowns. If ASDA were to do a clown, they'd have to make sure that it isn't too scary, and as they keep most of the props family friendly, which is mainly our limitation with ASDA props anyway. And at the height, they'd have to make sure that it is 6 foot at most. A lot of the newer props that they've sold are a bit over 6 foot, so maybe a few inches up from that, but 6 foot is probably the best mark, as anything like a towering prop would definitely be counted as too scary by them. So the last suggestion that I thought of for the life size this year is a witch, and I say this because we haven't seen full-size witch prop since Wanda in 2010, and I'd love to see them do another one to complement Wanda, such as just like they did with Jemmy Butler with the 2019 skeleton one. Surprisingly, Jemmy are actually still making props with the same head as Wanda nowadays, which are actually reasonably good. And I wouldn't mind seeing them being sold at ASDA. Just one more thing I'm going to add about life sizes is that if we can see more than one of them be sold in stores, that would be great, as we'd have a bit more of a variety to choose from, as I do believe we have done in the past, or at least being sold alongside with a 3 foot prop. So yeah, that is about everything I want to say for this video, guys, about what we want to see at ASDA this year. Sorry it has dragged on a long time, but there's definitely a lot to cover for our expectations this year, and if there is any that I have missed off, make sure to put them down below in the comments, as I'd definitely love to see what you think or would like to see. So over the next few weeks, I've got a lot of content regarding ASDA release, such as a big prop unboxing, which I've managed to acquire a lot of the older ASDA props over these past few months, and also which I'm planning on releasing sometime this week, a video showing a lot of the images that I have archived off the ASDA website, these from 2008 and onwards, which contain the product images, some promotions, and also the older theming, and it's just very amazing. It gives a throwback for sure of what we used to see. I'm sure you'd all like to see it. And one more thing, hopefully soon we will be getting a ASDA 2021 preview. If we get any information on that, I'll make sure to post it on my channel as soon as possible. So make sure you subscribe to all of these people I have mentioned who have helped me out with this video, as they have came up with some really good suggestions. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, anything you need for Halloween, this is Haunted School.